Good boy.
Auditory learners make up approximately 20% of the population. Auditory learning is a learning style in which a person learns through listening. They may struggle to understand a chapter they've read, but then experience a full understanding as they listen to a class lecture. Auditory learning is considered a different style of learning because some people are visual learners, some are kinesthetic learners, some tactile learners. An auditory learner is explained as a person who depends on hearing and speaking as a main way of learning. Auditory learners must be able to hear what is being said in order to understand and may have difficulty with instructions that are written. They also use their listening and repeating skills to sort through the information that is sent to them. Auditory learners may have a knack for asserting the true meaning of someone's words by listening to audible signals like changes in tone. A few key points regarding auditory learners. They like to read to themselves out loud. They're not afraid to speak in class. Are good at explaining and remembering names. They notice sound effects in movies and enjoy music. Are good at grammar and foreign languages. And they usually read slowly. Children with auditory learning skills can benefit by using word associations to remember facts and lines, recording lectures, watching videos, participating in group discussions, and repeating facts with their eyes closed, which is something I learned as a child. My grandfather taught all of his grandchildren how to say their alphabet backwards. So I will do that now for you. ZYX, WV, UTS, RQP, ONM, LKJ, IHG, FED, CBA. Adult learners can use auditory learning by listening to music without words. It helps adults who are returning to study by improving concentration and memory, reduces stress, and stimulating the brain to function as efficiently as possible. Music can stimulate pathways in the brain, enabling information to pass more easily. Students have used sound therapy throughout their study and found that it makes enormous differences in their ability and in their results. Auditory learners use phrases such as,
"Sounds good to me,"
and
"That's starting to ring a bell."
when describing memories, they will often focus on the sounds they heard or what people were saying. In conclusion, an auditory learner learns best by listening.
I am reporting on kinesthetic learners. The word kinesthetic refers to movement of the body. Kinesthetic learners learn by doing. A person with kinesthetic intelligence is well coordinated, has great hand-eye coordination, and typically communicates with their hands. Kinesthetic learners succeed in careers that allow them to be mobile, such as athletes, surgeons, or actors, to name a few. Kinesthetic learners study best by writing things down, taking notes, doing labs, or using maps. If you think you might be a kinesthetic learner, you probably do the following. Move around a lot, like to touch people while you're talking to them. You tap your pencil or your foot while you're studying. You enjoy physical activities. You take frequent breaks while you're studying. You do not spend a lot of time reading. You have difficulty spelling correctly. You like to solve problems physically by working them out. You like to try new things. Lay on the floor or bed while studying. Enjoy touching things. Have difficulty sitting for extended periods of time. Kinesthetic learners do things differently, but that doesn't mean that they do things worse. With a little bit of understanding with how we learn, we can find tricks that make our learning style work best for us.
Ask yourself these 3 questions. When you're checking over an essay that you have already written, do you find it easy to read it to yourself quietly? When learning something new, do you like to read the instructions before starting the project? When you're attempting to spell a word, do you visualize that word or do you visualize the content? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, it's quite possible you're a visual learner. Individuals that learn more effectively by actually seeing the material and the information are referred to as visual learners. Visual learners enjoy textbook reading, they enjoy writing on a chalkboard or a whiteboard, seeing their information out in front of them. They can remember diagrams, charts, or maps a lot easier. They love to take detailed notes of what they're studying. They understand the information best when it's able to be seen. The visual learner often has difficulty learning by receiving simple verbal instructions, sitting through a lecture on a particular subject, or attempting to perform a task without having the visual aid right there or instructions. If you're a visual learner, some strengths that you might possess are it's easy to remember anything you've read or seen. You might have a vivid imagination. You may think in pictures or in words. You might be an avid reader, and you're great at remembering faces. You like written reports better than the verbal, and you're hating my presentation right now because I'm talking to you without a handout or words flashing across the screen. This would be your best friend, having an everyday list maker. What you're not able to do, though, is retain what you hear for a very long time. So unless I'm going to forward you my presentation in written format, you're going to forget it right after you see it. You're going to have difficulty remembering people's names. Let's look at my example right now.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Jamie.
And you'll walk away from a presentation without too much retention if you're not allowed to take the notes. For the adult going back to school, you will succeed more in school by taking notes. So key things that you can do is highlight your key information in your book or on the notes that you've taken, study the graphs or diagrams, or even take photos of the content that you're studying. You need to be organized. Make flashcards, help you prepare for quizzes or tests. Now I'm going to take you back to the preschool age. Do you remember all those songs you sang? I bet you remember most of them. But I bet you still remember, and you think that you remember them because you think you're an audio learner. Well, you're wrong. You could, but mostly it's because it's visual. Try to sing those songs. Really. Do you remember the song, or do you remember the hand movements? That's what I thought. So now today in a preschool or a kindergarten setting, they don't concentrate on the strength or weakness of the child by this person's visual, this person's audio. They put it all together, and I'll show you an example. They do the alligator, bear, Katina cat, k. So they do the phonics of it, and they do a visual aid of the alligator, the B for bear, and the C for cat. That's to help your child either learn it visually, audio, or phonetically. So they cater to all of them. And with technology today, I surfed a few websites. Your child can get online and not only learn how to say the words and match them up with the sound, they can learn how to write them. I found this visual aid online showing you that the first step is green, the second step is yellow, the third step is red. If the letter does not have the pencil lift, then it will all be one solid color green. It's always 1 for green, 2 for yellow, 3 for red. Tells your child to start at the arrow and only lift the pencil when they see a color change. So it helps your child write. These are great visual aids you can find online, and I hope now you understand for the adult and the child what the visual learner is. Thank you.